Dr. Mitch Kahn, and welcome back to the Nutrition Daddy broadcast. I'm your host. We have an amazing subject we're going to bring up on this broadcast, and actually several others that are going to come up in the future. This will probably be about 2, 3, maybe 4 different broadcasts. I just want to put it in little bite-sized pieces so it's much easier for you guys to digest. And this is going to be, I'm telling you right up front, this is going to piss you off. It's going to be very controversial, but it is what it is, you know. And after probably 3 decades of studying nutrition or more, actually it's a little more, I've come up, obviously I've learned quite a bit over the years. And what we're going to cover on this broadcast is vitamins. Do you need vitamins? Are they actually good for you? Should you be buying them? And let me tell you right off the bat that this is a huge industry. Huge. And a lot of people have a lot invested in keeping this industry going. It's probably much bigger than most of you realize. In fact, it's probably right around $20 billion. That's how much money is spent on the vitamin and nutrition industry, specifically vitamins. A lot at stake here, a lot of money, and there's going to be a lot of rude awakenings from this video. A lot of stuff you guys maybe don't want to hear, but you know, it is what it is, and I'm trying to give you the truth as I see it, I know it, and as I've studied it, and to give you what works and what doesn't work. And I can tell you right off the bat what doesn't work. Vitamins, generally speaking, do not work. Now, before you shut this off and stop listening, let me explain, okay? Just give me a minute here. When we're talking about vitamins right now, we're talking about the kind of vitamins that you generally buy in health food store, in the pharmacies, in big department stores. Maybe you buy it online, you order it. Those types of vitamins. That's what we're talking about. Now, there are actually 2 separate kinds of vitamins out there. So I'm just talking about one kind, a very, very popular kind. In fact, more than 95% of the vitamins made and sold are these particular vitamins, and they are actually very bad for you. They're not like neutral or sort of good for you. They're actually a negative as far as your health is concerned. And we're going to get into that in this video and in future videos. Let me just back up a little. Let's talk a little bit about why we take vitamins to begin with. And one of the reasons why we take vitamins, or many of the reasons actually, is we want to feel better, we want to live longer, we have certain health issues we want to fix, maybe we have toxins in our environment and we're trying to offset that, pregnancy, athletes, high stress lifestyle. There's so many reasons to take vitamins, and they're all legitimate reasons. Also, some people think that there isn't enough nutrition in the foods we eat, which we are going to cover in another video, and that is true. And there are just so many reasons to take vitamins, and they're all good reasons. But the issue here is, are the vitamins you're taking healthy? Are they good for you? And the answer in over 95% of the cases is no. And I tell you that from research and from clinical experience with patients. Because when I have patients coming in here, I actually test them and I try to see if their vitamins are actually helping them or not. And 9 times out of 10, they're actually not helping them. They're actually somehow stressing their body. What I want to do now is I'm going to read a few articles to you, just outline a few articles, because this is such a confusing subject. This is why I made the video in the first place. It is purposely made confusing by the media and by doctors and by scientists out there. And the reason it's made confusing is so that the public doesn't know what to do, and they end up going for help. They ask their doctors, or they try to read articles and figure out what's the best route to take. And they throw their hands up in the air, they go to the store, and they'll just take any vitamin off the shelf. And not a good idea. So let's go into this a little bit. The first article that I'm going to read to you, I find this absolutely hilarious, but this is the kind of confusion that's being put out there by the media. This was in a Forbes magazine, okay? What it has to do with nutrition, good question, but it's an interesting article. And it's written by someone named Steve Salzberg, who has, as far as this article is concerned, has absolutely no experience with nutrition, and yet he wrote this article that was in Forbes magazine, which just blows me away. It doesn't say here that he's a doctor, he's a nutritionist, he's a naturopath, he's anything. Obviously he's a writer. And the name of the article is The Top 6 Vitamins You Should Not Take, okay? And I'll explain why I'm reading these to you in a few minutes. So, he goes on to explain the top 5 vitamins you shouldn't take. And just let me read this to you for a second here. He says the first study was the effects of vitamin D and how it actually has no effect on a wide range of diseases and conditions after looking at 450 studies. And it goes on to say that these people use vitamin D for these reasons, and it actually doesn't help at all. And that's for heart disease, weight gain, mood disorders, multiple sclerosis, metabolic disorders, all of which have been linked to lower vitamin D. But in trial after trial, the supplement vitamin D had no beneficial effects on any of these. So that was the first one, about vitamin D. In fact, it says it doesn't protect against osteoporosis, and it doesn't help at all. So that's vitamin D. And the next vitamin was vitamin C, which also supposedly doesn't help. Vitamin A doesn't help, vitamin E doesn't help, vitamin B6, and multiple vitamins don't help, all right? And you could read more about why these first 5 vitamins are actually downright bad for you. So what's left? Well, if you don't have a deficiency, they say, then there's no reason to take any supplement at all. He says enough is enough. Stop wasting money on vitamins and mineral supplements. Now, how do you know if you have a deficiency in vitamins? Well, you could say a blood test, but blood tests don't tell 99% of the vitamins that we need, actually more, 99.9% of the vitamins we need, we don't have blood tests for. We don't actually test them. So, that's the first article. Here's one: review of vitamin D studies finds little health benefits, which was in USA Today. Actually, it was just in a few weeks ago. And it said, the evidence is in, and vitamin D supplements, despite their popularity, do not seem to have significant benefits for heart health, cancer prevention, or even bone health in healthy people. It says a new review of previous studies from the researchers in New Zealand. Wow. So vitamin D, actually, supplementation is not good. In fact, it's bad, according to these articles. And here is another one. It was in the Daily News just a couple days ago. And it's from Swedish researchers report that antioxidants make cancers worse in mice. It's already known that antioxidant beta-carotene exacerbates lung cancer in humans. In fact, they're either useless or harmful, concludes the editor of the prestigious Annals of Internal Medicine. Beta-carotene, vitamin E, and possibly high doses of vitamin A supplements are harmful. So, they're so useless that the editors actually said you should stop wasting time even studying them. Further large prevention trials are no longer justified. Wow. So that's really something, huh? So, here's the next article. Wow. And you wonder why you're confused. You know, why are people so confused about vitamins? Wow. I mean, these articles, most of them were just out in the last few weeks. Here's one from the Huffington Post. It's possible to get too much of these 5 essential nutrients. You can get too much vitamin C. You can get too much iron. And it talks about some of the negative side effects. You can get too much calcium and too much omega-3 fatty acids. And it goes on and on. Anyway. What's the point of all this? I'm trying to show you, explain to you why this subject of nutrition and vitamin taking is so confusing. Now let's back up more than 50 years, okay? We're going to go more than 50 years back. And we're going to talk about this subject, all right? The original nutritionists the real nutritionists, I like to call them, the ones that were groundbreaking nutritionists who really discovered this field and did a lot of research and helped thousands, if not millions, of patients using nutrition. Okay? Back in that time period, when the government decided and scientists decided to start doing research, they made a very, very important decision. They were basically at a crossroads. They could either study nutrition based from whole foods, in other words, vitamins that were taken from whole foods, and study those, or the other path, which is take vitamins that were made man-made. They were not from foods. They were chemically derived. And at this pivotal point, they made the decision. There's no difference between the two, whether it's from food or whether it's made chemically by a lab. It's the same thing. A vitamin's a vitamin. So what we're going to do is, from this point on, we're only going to study, you guessed it, the man-made vitamins, the ones made in a lab from I mean, I don't know if you're aware of this, but these vitamins that we get in the store, they're made from coal tar, from oil, from sludge and waste products. These vitamins are made from the cheapest material that can possibly be found anywhere. That's what you're taking in these vitamins. Of course, they're processed and so forth, but that's what they are. We're going to get more into that later in other videos. So that's where we stand right now. All of these tests, all of these articles over the last over 50 years, okay, they were all derived from artificial vitamins, chemically made vitamins from a lab, or processed in some big, some big companies by a pharmaceutical company. They are not from foods. They're not based from anything that nature made. So, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't even have to be in the health field. Just any common sense would make your hair stand up and just like, wow. So from that pivotal point forward, all of the tests that were done were on fake or artificial vitamins. So naturally, this is what you end up with. Those, it finally is starting to come, wow, these vitamins don't work. In fact, not only do they not work, but they're negative. Okay, it can actually hurt you and make you more unhealthy and exacerbate problems like cancer and whatever it is that you have as far as your health issues. So I want to stress here very strongly that all vitamins are not alike. All these supplements are not alike. There's a huge difference between supplements. You have basically two schools: whole food supplements that are made from foods, and you have the other end, which we call nutraceuticals, which we're going to get into more, which are made by the pharmaceutical companies, and that's well over 95% of the vitamins out there. So we're going to continue soon on part 2. Okay, so I hope we're all learning something here, and you're starting to get the picture of where this is headed. And we're going to talk much more about this in the next few videos. All right, have a great day. I'll see you in the next video and next audio. Bye.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas.